Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jirex.
Good morning. I saw you all enjoying toasties. What happened? Where is my toasty?
I got some.
Well done to you. I trust you, Rufai. You always have my back, don't you, Doctor?
From my toasty.
I love you guys. Well, all right. Congratulations to Eka. 7 years, amazing. You and I used to sit here when it all started, Dr. Abati, isn't it?
How time flies.
I remember a certain gang.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it. I remember a certain gang.
What happened?
You want to get on the bullet?
We'll talk about it after the show.
You want to get on the bullet?
We'll talk about it after the show. You guys are having too much fun. Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In Iraq, security forces on Wednesday arrested 10 people and the owner of a venue where fire tore through its banquet hall during a wedding, killing at least 100 people and injuring 150 others. The incident, which occurred on Tuesday, prompted anger at the lack of safety measures at the venue. Hundreds were celebrating at the hall when the tragedy occurred. Witnesses and civil defense officials said the fire was sparked by fireworks set off as the bride and groom danced. In the United Kingdom, tributes poured in for a 15-year-old girl who was killed on her way to school by a 17-year-old boy who was arrested shortly after the girl died. An eyewitness said there had been an argument after the boy tried to give the girl flowers, and when she refused the flowers, she was stabbed in the neck with a foot-long knife. Flowers and cards have been placed near the scene where the stabbing took place in Croydon, South London, on Wednesday. In the United States, there was celebration after record-breaking NASA astronaut Frank Rubio returned to Earth on Wednesday for the first time in more than a year. Rubio and his two Russian colleagues, Sergei Prokopyev and Dmitry Petelin, parachuted to a landing in Kazakhstan. Rubio's stay in space set a new record for the longest a U.S. astronaut has ever spent in microgravity. He also became the first American to log an entire calendar year in orbit. In Niger, after a 2-month standoff with the country's coup leaders, French Ambassador Sylvain Leterre on Wednesday left the country and returned to Paris. The junta had ordered the French ambassador to leave within 48 hours at the end of August in response to what they described as actions by France that were contrary to the interests of Niger. Under sports, the Confederation of African Football on Wednesday announced that Morocco will host the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. President of the Confederation, Patrice Motsepe, also declared a joint East African bid from Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania as winners of the hosting rights for the 2027 AFCON in Cairo, Egypt. Morocco replaced Egypt, who were stripped of the tournament in October last year because of concerns about infrastructure and facilities. Finally, the head of Malian Records, Naira set social media abuzz on Wednesday after releasing a video recording of what he claimed to be his last conversation with the late singer Mohbad, who died under controversial circumstances. In the video, Naira could be heard warning against the dangers of suicide.
I'm just looking after you. I need to look after you. I told you already, you shouldn't be stressed, be free, do what you want to do, and say what you want to say. Say it. If you say, daddy, say it, be free. You wouldn't feel like, I know you said you feel like nobody likes you, Abi. But if nobody, if you can't feel like, if you feel like nobody likes you, it's not always for you to kill yourself. Do you get?
All right, the story is getting deeper with Naira Marley and Mohbad. I'm glad that he has said that he will honor the invitation of the police and he will cooperate with the investigation. But this video has caused a lot of reactions. A lot of people are saying, why is it that it's coming out now? but we must get justice, and that's the end of the story, justice for Mohbad. Well, let's begin what's trending. On the back of yesterday's Eid celebrations, with this video of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory cooking a meal as he hosts the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila. Let's take a look.
Oh God, you want to put this out?
We'll scatter internet today.
Dr. Abati, you know, it's nice to see Wike in this. I don't think this is the first video I've seen Wike cooking. I think he loves to cook. Well, tell us more about your visit to Wike's house. I mean, I love it. Well, happy Eid, by the way. How do you guys celebrate your Eid? I thought it was important to highlight the Eid.
Well, there are many sides to a man. This is what it means. Yes. You know, the same Wike who is a lawyer, who is a husband, who is you know, a politician, who is a demolition expert. You know, we were given the opportunity to see him in the kitchen. You know, that's another side of him. And that tells us that public figures are also, at the end of the day, you know, human beings. And I can attest to the fact that, yes, you know, if you visit him, he provides good food. In those days when he was Minister of State for Education and I was special advisor, you know, going home, he would normally pass in front of the place where I was living then in Asokoro. And, you know, once I had the honor of my security people told me, that's the Minister of State going home. You know, we'll link up. And I used to go to his house. There was always something nice to nibble on to eat. You know, nicely made chicken. We could be by the swimming pool side while he's having a haircut, and you know, we'll be eating.
What about the pepper soup and jollof rice? Have you had that? Has he made pepper soup? You can't tell us.
No, there was always special delicacies. Or we'll sit in the sitting room.
Your favorite?
And the regular guest then used to be, interestingly enough, Prince Uche Secondos, who later became chairman of the People's Democratic Party. I will sit there, we'll be having fun, you know, great host, you know, if you visit him. So there's that side of him that is not in the public domain. But people will ask, say, when last were you in his house to eat? I said, no. He went to become governor. I came on television. So, but that's how life is, isn't it?
Yes, it's nice to see. Well, I hope all of you had a great Eid celebration.
No, I'd like to say something.
Oh, you do? Okay, go ahead.
Please,
I didn't think that was...
Please. All of this they are showing about Governor Wike is good, but I can only confirm the taste if I have out of it. So, Governor Wike, please, I'm having a message to you out there. Dear Governor Wike, now Minister for FCT, there are implications for this food you are cooking. The way we tasted toasties,
yes,
we would like to taste your soup.
I love it.
So a pot of... No.
Maybe when Governor Wike retires from politics and government, maybe we set up a restaurant. In Port Harcourt.
So for me to be able to understand what's going on in that video there, I need to be able to taste your food.
All right, special invitation.
Governor Wike, that's it too. Thank you. But kudos to you on that good cooking.
Oh, that looks like fisherman soup.
I like the way he's mixing it. Governor Wike. Go ahead.
Well, all right. Well, let's take another story then. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo Olu, on Wednesday went on a tour of the ongoing Red Line Rail project at the Agege Station in Lagos, where he gave a warning to traders selling goods along the rail corridor to vacate the rail tracks within 2 days. In the video now making rounds on social media, the governor could be heard saying that the rail corridor is for transportation and not a market. Let's take a look.
It's government road, that's why government built everything. It is for transportation, it's not for market. It is not for market. Àwọn tó tẹ ẹ̀dìyẹ gbogbo ẹ̀ pátápátá ló máa kó lọ́sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ yìí. Báyìí lè dúró bí yo, kò ṣeé ṣe ìjọba mo fi wá fúnra mi, kò ṣeé ṣe o. A lè níjọba ká fi owó ribiribi ṣe gbogbo máa ká má lè lo Kẹ́ gbọ́ mi, mo ti sọ fún yín o. Nítorí ẹ̀ ọmọ àfi sínú news, máa fi sínú paper. Àfẹ́ kí ọ̀gọ́gọ́ kú. Tí trade bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣiṣẹ́, ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́wàá náà máa pa bí èèyàn kan máa kú sí mi ò fẹ́ wàhálà. Gbogbo ìfúà. Mo dẹ̀ máa block market yẹn, wọn ò ní ráyè bá bí mọ́. Mo ti sọ o.
All right, Ayo, only yesterday we took the video of those Sky officers clearing out that area in Magodo, those traders, and putting their food items. We still haven't gotten the, the inventory taken from that. And then we see this. But, the Lagos State government is saying that, local governments have provided market spaces for these traders to trade. But the thing is that they love to trade there because it is free and they don't pay any, concession, and they feel like there's no sort of regulation for them, and that's why they are there. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yes, absolutely. No form of regulation, and I'm glad that. And I have to say that Governor Sanwo Olu has been busy in terms of going on the streets of Lagos.
Absolutely.
Just a few days back as well, we talked about him going to Apapa.
Yeah, we have that video.
Yes, and he told them it must be cleared,
right.
and it was clear, at least at the moment. And now he's gone to the red rail line, where he says it's about 95% done, and we're looking forward to that being open. And he was speaking in a language and communicating to the people, to the market men and women, in a language they understand.
Yes.
He went there and he explained, and I must say that the tone wasn't authoritarian. He was explaining to them and giving them a timeline for when they would enforce the no trading on the rail line. It's quite sad to see that we haven't even launched the rail line, and already the market traders have taken on that place and said to set up their goods. And that's what we were talking about yesterday and earlier on during business, that yes, people are poor, people are desperate, and want to just be able to make a living. And so whatever space they see where they wouldn't have to pay any money, they occupy that space. However, we cannot continue to endorse this whilst lawlessness reigns in the state. We talk about this being a mega city and the likes. What we will then encourage, and as we said earlier on, is that the conversation should be around government providing spaces for traders to trade, and that's what he said, that they are they've made markets in the local governments. But beyond that is the regulation of these markets. Some of these traders are overtaxed. So they are taxed by the market association, then the Momoniles or the Agberos there will also tax them. Then other people will come and collect money from them, and it is unbearable. So if they're going to ask people to go to markets to stay, then make the markets conducive for traders to trade. We keep talking about the fact that people pay official and unofficial taxes, and unfortunately there's no commensurate support from the government to justify these taxes. So a note of warning, beyond just the fact that it is lawlessness, it's also in protection of the traders. Let them not be hit by trades. Right. Let them not be hit by, let an accident not occur. But very importantly, the state has a responsibility to its people to provide spaces for them to trade and trade conducively.
I love that point you just made. Protection for the traders, because oftentimes we see these accidents occur and these people just get squashed by the trains.
And it's a sad sight.
Yeah.
So there's a part of lawlessness. We can't afford to have a society where people are just lawless. And I also understand the argument of the failing of government here. Because yes, government is supposed to provide alternative places where people can trade and all of that. But to a large extent, there's this massive level of lawlessness. There's an angle to the argument where people pay to be able to trade even on the streets and all of that. There are still some operators that come and enforce the law that collect money from people.
Yes.
The empirical, somebody's just sent me a case now of a particular operator that collects 30,000 for people to be able to trade on the roadside. But the most important thing is there are also people too that do not pay, that just set up shop on the roadside that is against the law, and that's what we should stop in our society. We keep comparing our society with every other sane society in the world. Why can't we start to make it sane ourselves?
Right.
And that's just what the governor is saying there, pure and simple. Does it make sense to anybody to be trading close to a rail line? Let's call it speed is speed. We, the people, we have our own problems. The government, multiple problems. I'm not exonerating the government. But we, the people, we have our own problem. Your brother will say, does it look good in your eyes? Does it look good in our eyes trading along a rail path with the ancillary accidents and everything around that area? So what the governor has done is good. Sometimes you need to be able to go hard and tell the people, we don't want this, we don't want this. we love breakdown of law and order sometimes because that chaos favors us.
All right.
And it's a bad thing for us and our society. And that's what we must condemn.
All right. We'll take another story. Well, as Nigerians continue to express concern about the depreciation of the Naira, an old image showing the currency exchange rate as at September 26, 1983 has surfaced online. The image from Joliba Heritage and Culture, a non-profit organization showcasing Nigeria's history, detailed the exchange rates from the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, France, Switzerland, and the Netherlands. As at the time, the rate was 1 Naira to $1.50 and 1 Naira to £1 sterling. Well, that was 40 years ago. Well, here's a breakdown of the Naira exchange rate over the years using 1 million Naira as a baseline. Well, this is according to the CBN rate. In 1983, 1 million Naira was $1.5 million. And that was going at the rate of 66 kobo. At that time, Naira had power. 10 years later, the rate jumped to 20 Naira to the dollar. So in 1993, 1 million Naira was $45,000. Another 10 years, the rate jumped to 129 Naira to the dollar. So in 2003, 1 million Naira was $7,000. Another 10 years, the rate jumped again to 159 Naira to the dollar. So in 2013, 1 million Naira was $6,356. Then now, at the CBN rate, it's 780 Naira to the dollar. So right now in 2023, 1 million Naira is going for $1,284. I mean, what are we going to say? I want to use Donald Trump's slogan when he was campaigning. It was, "Make America Great Again." How do we make the Naira great again? I mean, this is outrageous for me to see that back in 1983, we could change 1 million Naira at $1.5 million. Dr. Bati.
Well, the story of the Naira is the story of Nigeria. You are quoting how the Naira was in 1986 when it was a very strong currency at a time when Nigeria was so rich. People used to boast that Nigeria didn't know what to do with money, right? Yeah. At that time, as I stated earlier today, people used to leave Nigeria on Friday evening, go to London, spend lavishly at Liverpool Market, you know, attend parties, hold weddings, and then shop as much as they could. Then Monday morning, they will resume at work in Nigeria. That was the kind of lifestyle that Nigerians lived at that time. And Naira was, you know, one Naira to the pound sterling. But today, the pound is about 1,250 Naira to 1 pound. The dollar is about 1,000 Naira to $1. And look at it, in terms of purchasing power, we really cannot purchase anything. And that is why I say it's the story of Nigeria. At that time also, Nigeria was a highly respected country. We were so much of a giant that Nigerians were walking about as if they were a special breed on the surface of the earth. Now, your green passport, you know, has become for many people, you know, a source of embarrassment, because once people see you, they look at you coming from a country where things are not working. Now, I've also made a point that, look, some columnists, more than 10 years ago, predicted what is happening today. I've mentioned Les Leber, you know, now of blessed memory, Vanguard columnist, Mr. Dele Shobowale, Vanguard columnist, who is still writing, Mr. Aidagofua Ojomaikre, you know, who was with me on the editorial board of The Guardian as our consultant economist. These persons, you know, they wrote a series of articles, you know, how to save the Naira. And they kept warning that this Naira, if you don't do something about it, you'll get to a point where the Nigerian economy will be totally dollarized and your Naira will be of no value. Those gentlemen, you know, have turned out to be prophets. And their words are proven prophetic. Now the Nigerian government is running to Afrexim Bank for 3 billion, which we were told will be supplied with immediate effect. They have not seen the $3 billion. They are now looking for oil traders who can provide their money so that we will do crude oil swap. And then, you know, that is not working. They are going to Flutterwave to come up with a special strategy so that we can have a liquidity with regard to dollar supply. It's unfortunate. It's lack of foresight, lack of thinking, lack of, leadership and governance. This is what has brought us here. And unfortunately, the failure of Nigeria's monetary policy, fiscal policy, is all of us suffering from it. Just as we keep warning that if they do not do what is right this time, even our great-grandchildren may end up saying our grandfathers, were protesting that care should be taken. That's what you do. That's what you get when you don't plan very well for the future.
Yeah, we need perfect planning. We need to make the Naira great again. Well, let's end what's trending by celebrating some great Nigerians. We'll go over to the United States, where President Joe Biden on Wednesday nominated the duo of Chineye Ogwumike and Osage Isamuoge into the 12-member Advisory Council on Africa Diaspora Engagement. Chineye Ogwumike is a two-time WNBA All-Star for the Los Angeles Sparks and a full-time multi-platform ESPN commentator and NBA analyst. The 31-year-old basketball star graduated from Stanford University with an international relations degree under the mentorship of Dr. Condoleezza Rice. Osage Isamuoge, on the other hand, is an investment banker and the co-founder of a private equity firm that is focused on life sciences. He has invested over $1 billion into that industry. Osage is also a practicing attorney and holds LLM degrees from the London School of Economics and the University of Pennsylvania Carey Law School, and is a member of the New York State Bar. Yeah. I mean, this is a great, great moment. You know what I loved the most was their profile. So detailed. There's so much more to them. But I mean, that's all I could pull off for now. But what would I say? Congratulations. They are going to make Nigeria proud. They are going to talk about Africa as well. And I love the fact that Nigerians are doing well in the diaspora. We have.
What else can we say? This country is great. This country is rich. But what does it lack? Leadership. Yes. That's just it.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, it's so great to see Miss Ogwumike is a first-generation African American. So, Oji, you could be, you could be called into government to advise.
You too.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see Nigerians who go out, and we see it across, not just in the United States of America, the UK, other parts of the world. Right. We excel, we thrive, and it's just what she was the first black woman to have a daily show on radio where she was analyzing sports. So she's not just a sportswoman; she's young, she's 31 years old, so ticks all the boxes, and it's a great example for other Nigerians, not just here, but
our diamonds. I've always admired Chineye. Dr. Vati, only a second, we have to go.
Both of them are on the advisory council of the diaspora. And I think that there is a window of opportunity there for our own diaspora commission back home to engage with them, because they are ambassadors and they are Nigerian Americans. So there is a lot that they can do on both sides. Well, all right. Congratulations to them.
Congratulations to all of them. I'd like to thank you all, as always, for your great contribution on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.